Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another informative episode of CPO Innovation Live in association with Lark. My name again is Shreya Fatwani, your host from CPO Innovation. I welcome you all on today's live webcast on navigating the challenges of remote working, powered by Lark. For those who don't know me, I work on CIB team here at CPO Innovation, and I'm super excited to be hosting today's live webcast. The COVID 19 pandemic has been dynamic and intense for all of us. This is impacting everyone around the world and every life, every aspects of our daily lives, our family life, our communities, our social interactions, and of course, how many of us have shifted to new norm of working, work from home. Before I move forward, I wanted to say something to those who have been directly impacted by this COVID 19. I wanted us to remember Thomas Edison, and I want to quote him saying, "There is a great value in disaster. It gives us power and freedom to start all over again." I, on behalf of CPO Innovation, want to share my deepest thanks to all our real heroes for their constant support and selfless service during this crisis. Together we can win. Jai Hind. Moving forward, I want to brief you about our today's webcast partner, Lark. In the world of work, where remote working has become a major challenge for companies, for universities, Lark has set up as a true partner and is helping many storm-struck organizations to successfully navigate the challenges of remote working. Lark is truly a next generation office suite that integrates messaging, schedule management, collaborative documents, video conferencing, and many more applications in a single platform. Built for the era of mobile internet, Lark works as well on desktop as it does on your phone. So, this webcast will walk you through common pitfalls of working and how to avoid them, how to proactively reach out to other members of the team, to maintain an overview of the work of the team, and to maintain your working relationships. This webcast will also help you to manage a remote organization that can create lasting benefits for your business with the right tools, and obviously, an actionable plan to successfully remote working. I am pleased to introduce Mr. Mr. Vinay Bhartia, Country Director Lark.
Thank you, Shreya. Hi, everyone. I think these are unprecedented times for everyone while we stay safe and we stay at home. But most importantly, what I say is we stay connected to everyone. So wishing everyone well and confident everyone is safe and taking care of
And
not only their colleagues, but also their family and friends.
so,
Yes,
he is passionate on how technology can impact business. He has 20 plus years experience from entrepreneurship, building business to leading professional roles for Alibaba and now Lark. Before I hand over this to Vinay, I have a few housekeeping items to cover about this presentation. We love to hear from you, and so we have a Q&A session. Please feel free to send a question through the comment section on your screen or by tweeting us at CPO Innovation. We will be answering questions at the end of the session. If we don't get to your questions in today's webinar, we will be sure to follow it afterwards. Today's webcast will be available on demand after the live session on www.cpoinnovation.com and on CPO Innovation YouTube channel as well. And also, we would like to encourage you to share today's webinar with your social networks, as knowledge sharing always and every time benefits all. So without any delay, I would like to kick things off by welcoming Mr. Vinay Bhartia. Over to you, Vinay.
thanks, Shreya. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
All right, let's start that again. I thought the introduction was already done. Anyways, thank you, everyone. Welcome to this meaningful session by CPO Innovations. I think these are unprecedented times for all of us. We are home. We are trying to stay safe. But I think most importantly, we should stay connected. And this is stay connected not only to your colleagues, but friends and family. I believe the government is doing what its best can, and we are doing our bit. So, wishing everybody well. I think we all speak about the importance of staying connected. Uh, there are few things when I focus on enterprise that actually become very paramount. Is an enterprise is always looking for how do I communicate with my team, and the team could be in office across locations. Second is how do I collaborate with my team? Whether it's on projects, whether it is on important tasks, assignments, customer engagements. Third becomes how do I maintain business continuity? Uh, whether it's attendance, approvals, workflows, reports, and obviously most important while I'm doing all this, how do I still have it all integrated with my existing systems or applications that I was already using, or have my IT team has built? So Lark actually is the next generation suite, which brings all of these into one single application and empowers you not only to bring your corporate or in-office teams, but the entire team across locations. We've seen a lot of examples where customers are speaking about frontline teams and remote teams, but Lark enables you to bring everybody onto a single. So with that, I will share two things during my session. One is a short video, and they followed up with a presentation. And then we have one of our very early customers, Stones to Milestones, and then we can open the Q&A. So just give me a second, please. Shreya, is that visible?
Ever since the lockdown has happened, our entire agency is working from home. That's about 40 people. Art directors, video editors, copywriters, account management. Our biggest worry though about people working from home was could we still work together as a team? And that's when we found Lark. Lark lets us ideate, communicate and collaborate with our team members remotely. So working from home is a breeze.
Here's how we use it. With Lark, we can create separate internal groups for our clients. As an account manager, this means that I always have access to my team. If I need to share a creative brief, presentation, or research findings, I can simply click on the calendar icon in a group and schedule a meeting.
If we need to do a brainstorm, with a single click, we can start a video or audio conference.
I just got a new brief, so is it okay if we get on a brainstorm?
We can also share docs during the conference. And the best part is, everyone can view and scroll through the docs at their own pace.
We'll have to think of what communication we want. Maybe for print ads will be extended later.
We can also edit the docs simultaneously from within the video call window.
For a writer like me, Lark Docs is essentially a dream. I can add things to a doc, like visual references that my art partner shared. I can even give people permission to edit, so that my creative director and supervisor can make additions or changes. But what's really handy about Lark Docs is that multiple people can edit a document at once. In fact, I can add a to-do list, tag my teammates, and add deadlines. Whoever I tag gets a notification in their chat. People can also highlight certain sections and add comments specific to those sections. And anytime someone comments, I get notified. This saves me the trouble of drafting mails every time and makes the whole feedback process so much easier.
Great client presentations can sell an idea, and a poor one can kill an idea. But in this lockdown scenario, we can't meet our clients physically. So our presentations have to work that much harder, which they do with Lark. In a Lark document, you can attach images, audio and video files, PDF attachments, charts, and even conduct polls. We don't have to use any other application. And the best part is, the doc can be shared during a video conference, making it safe and effective.
I really like the second route. I say let's go ahead with that.
Okay. When it comes to making campaigns, Lark makes it easily achievable from the safety of your home. And the best part is, you can do it all in one app. And it's free.
We are infectious advertising.
And we are spreading love for our brands even in the lockdown.
And it's all thanks to Lark.
I'll just switch to the presentation. So hi guys, yes, navigating the challenges of remote working. I think we all are speaking of that in various avatars. The news is carrying that. People are talking. I've seen games being played, houses. I think we are very innovative as a country and as people to navigate the current challenges that we get thrown at. But I think work, now especially remote working, is what we believe is going to be the new norm. In the three quadrants of future of work, you always have the workplace, work culture, and work people. And we've seen now workplace and work people uh, change and get impacted due to the COVID-19. So obviously, the work culture is going to take change, and shape differently. So how do we navigate that? Would be our those challenges, and how does this become the new norm? Is going to be very interesting for us. If you actually see email, right, or if I say this, connecting remotely is the new norm. Why? If you see the transition, we in communication, email was created 50 years ago, and we're still using email as more of a reactive way of communicating. But then we moved to telephone calls, we moved to messaging, chats, and now it's actually work based on communication. You look at commerce, we all went to a supermarket, then a local retail store, and now e-commerce delivers the product to our home, and that's all about the way things are changing. So connecting remotely and getting work done is going to be the new norm. It's already happening in a lot of countries. Some European countries have put 3-day, 4-day workday at work, and then can use the balance from work, from home or other places. While some countries are experimenting, obviously this situation became the largest live example or test opportunity moment for staying connected remotely and working. So what does research show us? In 2018, IWG did a study surveying over 18,000 professionals from a range of different industries across 96 countries. And more than two-thirds of these employees actually worked remotely every week, some day or the other. And over 50% actually did for at least half the week. Very interesting statistics, even back early as 2018. And I think this numbers would show a different reading if that survey was done today. I know Singapore definitely is under lockdown now till 1st June. Uh, in Singapore, it was found that over 60% of the employees worked remotely every week, and almost 50% did so for at least half the week. But no other time has remote working been more pressing than now. And I think we all know that we have many customers, we have many partners. We have many sorry guys, we have many customers, we have many partners that are now engaging and staying connected with their tools, with their customers, with their ecosystems, with their vendors, with their stakeholders, finding it challenging, finding innovative ways, and also keeping their business running. Yes, there are certain businesses that are shutting down or that have shut down, due to which are typically manufacturing, which will reopen shortly. But there are a lot of essential services, a lot of key businesses that continue to serve both the customer, the nation, as well as the requirement. This also is going to be very interesting in the way how we look at business and the solutions we offer. I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, I talk to a lot of businesses, and they've started pivoting the business model to accommodate what we say is remote working or not meeting. And the video that you saw highlighted a media agency actually getting projects done meaningfully. Yes, initially the turnaround time on projects got extended from a few days to 4 days. But once you get used to that, which is a change of habit, it's a matter of just using that as the new norm. So in the midst of COVID-19, I mentioned everything is changing from lifestyles to work. Obviously, lifestyles get impacted first and then work later, but now work is becoming the focus and how businesses are maintaining business continuity. We have a pharma company in India actually using Lark to train all its employees or team members, update them on product knowledge, update them on key pockets that have opened up for distribution of that product. Because pharma is a key industry, for example, for even during a situation like this. So by bringing them all, which they were typically using personal P2P communication chat applications, and you can imagine which I'm talking of, managing hundreds and thousands of groups. But now with Lark, we're able to give them all in one team on one platform using the announcement capability or live streaming. They were able to manage, even during the COVID-19 outbreak, communication as well as information sharing and distribution of their product across the country and pharmacies and chemists. So like I mentioned, remote working is the new norm. 90% of people in APAC purposely now have changed habits to avoid crowds and regular socializing. I think we speak of that. Western countries adopt that a lot faster. And I've seen a lot of personal chatter on social media about how social distancing or reduced socializing is going to become. Now, if that is going to get amplified for work, I think we will see management and teams and corporates and companies not push for boardroom meetings, getting 20 people, 10 people onto a physical location to get a project done. It's more going to be, how do I drive my work efficiently, digitally? It will impact certain industries, or it could impact certain industries like travel or hospitality. But at least the business continuity will get maintained. It also saves, actually remote working or using technology to solve remote working also helps you meaningfully and significantly reduce cost for the enterprise, which now will become more important in times to come forward. So what is the impact on SMEs? Yes, considerable. This is a US report which does define that companies fewer than 500 employees have less than a month's cash of reserve, as per JP Morgan. But that's going to straight true to India also. In fact, the amplification and the problem is going to increase, especially with the SMB and the small sector. Cash flow is very important. Monthly, daily sales drive their business. So how do I still maintain to do that? And when business opens up, which is opening up in some parts of the country, some sectors, how do I still get my business going and have tools or technology to support? Very interesting sector, and those who are parents and have their children in schools will be going through this. I have two daughters. Across the world, more than half the student population now is not attending school. And actually, according to UNESCO, currently over 850 million children and youth have been affected or impacted due to this. That includes countries like India, Thailand, Malaysia, Cambodia, Japan, Europe, US. At Lark, in fact, we are currently supporting more than 30 educational institutes to help them conduct their distant learning, remote learning through the VC conference capabilities, live streaming capabilities, as well as the Lark docs and the Lark sheets to actually have assignments, the chat groups to actually conduct sessions and share information both from parent to teacher, teacher to parent, and even teacher to student, especially in coaching classes. So social distancing could be the future for longer than we anticipated. Yes, especially on work. We didn't expect to be in lockdown greater than 21 days. That got extended. That's further getting extended in certain parts of the country or certain parts of geographies around the world. And this will get most impacted on work. We may end up still meeting friends and family as this reopens, but I think companies will change and adapt to what we say is the new norm and start using more tools and solutions to maintain business continuity. So having said that, a brief introduction of Lark. We understand that business owners need to make an informed decision quickly. An IT department is a luxury that SMBs can't afford, especially in the small, medium business enterprise side. Also, when we look at another sector, schools need to be able to provide essential learning, both for students. Obviously, large enterprises or very large enterprises or mid-market companies have dedicated teams that are able to. But how do we, there's a great saying that in times like this, technology is the greatest lever. Uh, so Lark enables both a startup, and we have hundreds of startups. In fact, our guest speaker today, who will share a customer sharing, is a young startup, few years, and how they've grown from a team of 20 to 60 people and maintained and scaled business even during these times using Lark. So Lark's ultimate platform to address your business and school collaboration needs, allowing everyone to seamlessly work together, which comes around communication, which is chat, Lark VC, live streaming, announcements, collaboration, which goes around Lark Docs, Lark Drive. We offer up to 200 GB drive space free. Business continuity, which is approvals, attendance, sales reports, check-in, and then obviously the open platform, which is apps, APIs, and bots. So I spoke about giving some examples of video conferencing. And so at Lark, we offer unlimited audio video conferencing. So no more 40-minute restrictions or no more concerns on security. Use unlimited minutes with screen sharing and simultaneous doc editing while video call. In fact, we actually nickname it as there's an infographic, I will let it play. We actually nickname it as the same page meeting, where tens and tens of people can actually work on the same meeting, same document, even during a video conferencing call. Cloud space. I think as physical barriers break, as people work from different locations, cloud business or cloud as a service is already peaking and scaling extremely fast. So Lark offers 200 GB drive space as part of Lark Drive free. You can safely store, access, and share documents with every team member in any device. Just a video infographic to show you some quick tricks and trades that the Lark document can. I mean, this is when you're talking to your teammates within the Lark doc, you can actually assign them a task. And like we chat with each other or we make a call and say, hi, Emily, can you finish this task? That's the same way the message comes to them in their Lark Messenger. Customize your digital workflow. This is very critical for all organizations, which is maintaining business continuity, stay integrated with their existing systems. So Lark actually offers Lark Attendance, which is GPS and Wi-Fi based. Lark Approvals, which is almost like a Lego box. You can customize any kind of workflow, make it applicable to any team, set conditions and applications that yes, if, no, but, and actually have it marked to to your team members, to your managers, to specific departments, and also CC your manager. The key thing happens when it comes to mid or large enterprises is chat group sizes. We all know the chat group restriction on certain applications, and that lands up creating an admin to create multiple groups or multiple chat groups, and then you're posting those messages again and again. And then if you're looking for a poll or a survey, you're not able to get any feedback. In Lark 1, there is no user restriction. You can have unlimited amount of users. Second, you can have unlimited chat groups, and then actually have 5,000 members in each chat group. The beauty about the chat groups is, or Lark is, the admin panel is connected to your Active Directory, or you can actually have an Lark admin panel. So you control the employees or the team members. So you don't have former team members or even new team members who've joined in the right groups or not part of the right groups. Also, straight out of the chat groups, you can actually create meetings. So this is the calendar view. I've calendared an event. I can click on chat and then actually create a chat group of all the stakeholders, as you can see. And it's easy to navigate between the calendar and a chat. We calendared a meeting with 30 people. We wanted to convert that into a follow-up meeting group, and we simply clicked on chat group. In fact, if you see the sales team meeting icon, you can actually click on that and also start a video call right out of a chat group. So it's a very seamless way for you to navigate your work. Integrated health tracking. This is an application that actually one of our customers built internally, where they actually were able to track the well-being of all their employees on a daily basis. So they put up a few standard questions because they had teams across, and they wanted to ensure that their teams are safe and sound on a daily basis. So they created a mini application using the open platform capabilities and actually were able to track daily health report. And their admin and HR was able to provide assistance to anybody that needed anything, whether it was personal protective equipment, transportation, or even any medical assistance. So how can we do this, or how can we use? Get started with Lark in 5 minutes. It's never been easy to start remote working. And the best part about it, it's free. These are some of a few customers across few regions to share, and I'm happy to share that. And very interesting to share with you, we recently got listed by UNESCO as one of the key solutions for remote learning. And that has been very instrumental as we continue to support the social and the education sector also in India. Thank you. Shreya, over to you.
Thank you, Vinay, for covering important aspects around remote working. It helps me, and I'm sure everyone else, with issues that the world is facing in remote working today. And I'm sure the audience is enjoying this important and well in time episode. So, moving forward, a story awaits that can add to the shared information. So we have Mr. Amit Agarwal, co-author, Head Growth from Stones to Milestones, our guest speaker to share his story and experience with Lark, how they have partnered with Lark, and how likely he recommends Lark for remote working applications. Hear from him and ask your queries as well. Welcome, Amit, and over to you.
Thanks, Shreya, and thanks, Vinay, for setting the stage to what we and everyone else is currently facing right now, both in their personal lifestyles and in the workspace. So our journey, just quickly, Shreya introduced, but to let you know a little bit more. Stones to Milestones, we are an education technology company. We started out a few years back, 4 years back. Essentially, we provide technology-based English reading solutions to children, and we work with educational institutes directly. We work with parents directly using our technology platform. And I think we were the first, or maybe one of the first, users and customers of. I don't like to use the word customer. I mean, it's more like partnership. With Lark, it's so integrated into Stones to Milestones workspace right now. That we've not felt it to be more like a vendor service and so on. So yeah, I mean we've been using it, for all our office enterprise communication internally over the last, since it launched in India, and various use cases, right? So in terms of the obvious use case, like how Vinay was talking about, different, it does not require you to create multiple groups, and so on. Obviously, those benefits are there. So all our communication internally within organization, within all the employees happens on Lark. Whether it's sharing files, sending meeting invites, just normal messaging and so on. But more interestingly, with the current scenario, apart from work, we have created a separate window where whatever chit chat, water cooler talks, office potluck, lunch, all the culture that Vinay was talking about earlier that people were missing in office is something that we are trying to enable through Lark, while people are at home as well. So, there is a specific time when people can just come, share whatever they've cooked, whatever they've cleaned, their children. We had a Antakshari, with our office people online. So there are various things that we are doing to, make sure that people don't miss that culture apart from all the productivity that is needed at the workspace. So essentially, yes, we've used Lark for quite a while now, and quite happy with all the services. Would be happy to answer if there's any specific questions from the audience or from Vinay or Shreya.
Shreya?
So we are moving to our Q&A session, and we have some interesting questions coming up from our audience. And I see that Vinay has already covered most of them. So, Vinay, can you just throw some light on COVID-19 cascading impact on manufacturing and consumption?
I think that's a more generic question. Yes, there will be impact on a lot of industries. Some will be slow to start. Some will fight for survival. Some will prosper differently. I think the key is challenges always come, different kinds of challenges, right? And industries always known to get challenges and all. I think it's important to be be agile, and be willing to pivot. Uh, you know, not only your product strategy, but even your distribution as well as your customer service strategy. And pivoting that will help. I think people's consumption will not stop. I think India is a good is a massive economy, a very strong economy, and consumption is going to only increase. So it's just the pivoting of maybe in sometimes the distribution models change or pivoting of the service model changes.
Thank you, Vinay. So we have another question which is coming up by Amitva Bhatt, and he's asking that will this be helpful for education industry as well?
Yes, we are serving the education industry, like I mentioned, and maybe Amit can also share some light later as an edtech startup. But the education industry, we are currently having coaching classes, schools, as well as colleges, using for various engagements, and that could be management to teacher, teacher to students, especially on the college, and even teachers to parent engagements. So 30 plus educational institutes across the country are now using Lark to go about their sharing, learning, and engagement with students. Amit, anything that you would like to share on that?
Yeah, so we fortunately just before the whole COVID thing started, rolled out an experiment where we were offering our technology platforms to schools, free of cost. It was a B2B2C model, something that we were experimenting, and we saw huge traction there. So in the last in 3 weeks just before COVID, we had about 200 schools who signed up for that, and in the last 4 weeks of COVID, we've already had about 500 schools, who started availing the service. So there is big demand, there is big need, in schools, in parents of getting technology-based services. I think what is also important to know is, and when I talk to all, some of these, large educational institutes who are using our services, is that they have a flood. There's a huge flood of services, free services, right now with educational institutes. So everyone is trying to offer something free. So how do they distinguish between what is good and what is not? I think that is the key challenge right now, is standing out with the service delivery, with the features, so that schools don't go back to any other platform once they started using it.
Thank you, Vinay and Amit. So we have some more questions coming up. So the other question is that what are the measures that your company has taken with regards to data security, and how is the data security for enterprise ensured?
Yes, so that's a very important thing. Enterprise data security and privacy management is paramount and most important for any enterprise solution provider. At Lark, we have 3 ISO certificates. We can share that with all the participants. It's also listed on the website. I don't remember the numbers. We also are SOC 2 and SOC 3 compliant, and we also follow AWS security infrastructure. Besides that, we have a security white paper that we have released, and we work very closely with all size of enterprises. Like I mentioned, we have very large MNCs in India that are now using Lark, and even down to startups. We've had sessions with their security team as well as their admin team and ITC team, and addressed all their security questions. So happy to even address that. The team is happy to address any specific ones one to one. But yes, data security privacy is absolute paramount, and we at Lark champion that. Shreya, you're on mute. Do you want me to read the questions myself and address them? Is that okay?
Yeah, it is okay if you could do that.
Yeah. So I'm just going to scroll down and say, already addressed education, addressed data security. Then it says uh, ATHNIT2 as a question, what's the impact it will have on event management company and huge awards ceremony? How will awards ceremony be in future? I think this is pivoting of the business model both on a temporary basis and a permanent basis. Certain business models will pivot permanently and get impacted due to the current situation. Certain business models will pivot temporarily. We've seen a lot of live webinars. Obviously, that's sharing of knowledge. But we've also seen a lot of live events. Companies organize and invite actually singers and performers and artists to actually sing and perform and showcase from the safety and security of their homes and have that done online, right, through the live streaming capability. So products like Lark with the live streaming capability will help you conduct communication, right? And communication could be a town hall, which a CEO does, or a CEO's all hands meeting, uh, investors meet, or even awards evening, right, where you have different performers, going live from the safety and security of their homes. Or it could be a way of doing that in going future. I mean, we've already seen virtual events which were happening globally even prior to COVID coming around, where they were led by industry, especially on the IT side, where instead of physically going to a conference, you were actually conducting the whole conference digitally. So I think it's going to change. I think there's huge opportunity there, and if you're in that space, it could be a promising one for you to look at that to pivot. Parther asks, keeping in mind increasing usage of work from home by ITS, what do you feel the future of office space leasing and how will Lark help? I think there are three components which I mentioned to future of work, which is the workplace, the work culture, and work people. Obviously, a tool like Lark helps cut across all three, which typically does where you are able to stay communicated with your team members irrespective. Obviously, a lot of offices, even prior to the lockdown, had teams geographically very diverse because talent is very diverse, and people want to get good talent or different talent and not have them move to one location. And having that, getting office space set up, the co-working or the spaces were very convenient. But as times change and remote working comes in, more than work from home, it's remote working, right? People will use tools to leverage. So technology will be the great leveler, where it doesn't matter if you're at a home, you're at a coffee shop, you're at a workplace, you're traveling, you're able to stay connected with your entire organization. And being mobile first as Lark or on a laptop, desktop, you're able to actually continue work and maintain business continuity. VM Kulkarni has a question. Do you have separate school and B2B platforms? Actually, Lark is one application, one suite, and there are multiple adoptions across SMBs, mid-markets, education, social. In fact, we have a couple of interesting social sector organizations that are not only brought their core teams, a few hundred users, but also now bringing the entire volunteer network to get work done, mobilize engagements and activities. So, yeah, sure. I think that answers. I think most. There are few that are there which Yogesh has addressed. Please confirm if integration is Sabha has that. Yes, I'll address that. So Lark's open platform capability actually addresses APIs, bots, connectors, not only to third party, but even your own custom applications. We have over 100 applications already integrated inside Lark.
Thank you, Vinay. So we have some more questions which we have received over email, and there are few inquiries. So one, they want to know like what are the three USPs of Lark over Zoom and Amazon time?
I think it's not comparing to competition. I think some of the, and I think I'll also let Amit share because he was using multiple apps. So I think there are a lot of products and solutions that are available that are single function. What Log does is it's a true all-in-one suite, and that lets you do communication, that is chat, video conferencing, live streaming, announcements, lets you do collaboration, which is Log Drive, Doc, Sheets, uh, lets you do drive space, lets you do business continuity. So the key difference is it's what we say is the future, the next generation application, and it lets you do all this with one app and bring your entire organization into one app. Amit, I think you would be a good person to share. I know, in fact, to address the point, you were the first Lark customer in India. It's not even one of the first. And I know talking to your team, you were using 6 or 8 apps. And how's that transition been? Maybe that can be a better insight to the audience.
Yeah, so stones to milestones. We've been very, very focused on making sure that we are using technology for any kind of automation, whether it's internal communication, whether it's creating a repository of database, of questions frequently asked, whether it's HR functions and so on. So you're right. I mean, we were using different functions, and we still have maybe one or two at the max, but we've done away with most of them. What we do, find as a key difference is, in terms of I think what you just addressed, on integration. So whether it's making a phone call, whether it's recording that call, with a distributed sales team, it becomes important to understand how much they're following up and how soon they're doing that. And while we have a CRM, but what Lark does is helps us keep track of these people who are on the field, in terms of their GPS capability, in terms of their calling effort that is being made, and so on. So it has helped us consolidate and converge a lot of these functions.
So I'm going to share with you further on that. Our CRM model integrated, CRM app integrated to Lark will be live very shortly. So you will be further able to, or maybe other enterprises will further able to even use low cost, high-end CRM integrated inside Lark. There's a question there's a question. VC is possible on how many users at a time in Lark? Great question by Bijit Sawan. Lark offers unlimited VC up to unlimited VCs, number of VCs. Each VC can be up to 100 participants, and the minutes per VC or per call are unlimited. So you can have unlimited minutes per call and 100 participants per VC, and unlimited number of simultaneous VCs. There are a couple of questions that regards to students. So at ATH I think we can take this offline, but we are coming up with an e-learning module in the month of May that will be able to have curated, that you will be able to put content, examination, assessments, and other capabilities. It's a full stack education module that is getting launched in Lark in the next month. Also, we have already integrated the whiteboard capability inside Lark, where now teachers can actually teach students using the Lark VC and the whiteboard. Hope that at least addresses some part of your question today. Shreya?
Yes, Vinay. So there is one professional who was asking that what type of company is currently using Lark?
Yes, so we have companies across different sectors, startups, SMBs, mid-markets, very large enterprises. And we also have companies based on verticals, if I have to say that. We have pharma, we have logistics. In fact, we have one of the largest e-commerce logistics companies in India now using Lark. And we're already in active engagement with 3 logistics companies to use Lark. That's on the logistics side. Education, I already mentioned 30 plus. We have a couple of NBFCs using Lark, more NBFCs, fintech. We have retail using Lark. We've seen service industry teams, companies with large team force, sales teams, service teams using Lark. We've had rural education, actually more than rural education. This is rural employment, third-party payroll, where there are a couple of thousand users. We have an enterprise SaaS company, a solution company that works with a telecom operator and services enterprise clients now that is using Lark. In fact, it's a very interesting one. They call interactive marketing, and they actually do new user onboarding, training, product knowledge sharing, as well as sales and service using Lark.
Thank you, Mr. Vinay Bhartia and Mr. Amit Agarwal, for your valuable insights and for addressing these questions. And also a big thanks to all our lovely audiences here for joining us in this webcast. And we hope to see you all in the next one. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you and have a great day ahead.
Thank you.